Next up is blown away by Evernote. I don't know about you, but Chris Capossela, who is the Senior Vice President of Consumer Channels and Central Marketing Group of Microsoft. Chris, can you join me on stage? Welcome, Chris.
Thank you.
That was a good transition. He has a Windows Phone 7 apps.
That's great.
So I think you have a quick video that you wanted to share with us, Chris.
Yeah, you know, we just celebrated the one-year anniversary of Kinect, and we put together a short one-minute video or so that talks a little bit about what we've seen from Kinect, both what we've done and what developers are doing. And so I thought would open with that.
Yeah, let's have a look.
We started with a sensor that turned voice and movement into magic.
Xbox, play.
And we thought, this will be fun to play with. And it was. But something amazing is happening. The world is starting to imagine things we hadn't even thought of. Unexpected things. Helpful things. Beautiful things. Inspired things. Which is why, even though the world keeps asking us what we'll do with Kinect next, we're just as excited to ask the world the same thing.
This is very cool.
Yeah, it is. I mean, the things that developers are doing with Kinect for Xbox 360 has just been mind-blowing for us to see. And it's just this constant reminder of the incredible developer opportunities that exist today. There really is no better time to be a developer than right now, with the work Microsoft's doing, the work that so many companies are doing.
So explain one of those, because you see it in medical.
Yeah.
What's the coolest one for you?
Yeah, I mean, basically what happened is we released a kit for developers to download and to use, essentially an SDK, to use with Kinect, you know, connecting the device to either their Xbox or to a PC. And people are starting to just imagine amazing things that they can do once you free up the interaction with the computer away from the keyboard and the mouse, and actually just let your body be the controller for the device itself. In the case of the work we've done, we've obviously focused very much on gaming and allowing people to move away from just the hardcore games that Xbox was originally created for, and now into a much broader set of casual games, where we see really young kids and grandparents using their body as the controller to play games. But that notion is much bigger. The notion of what you can do with your body to control a computer is a much bigger idea than simply the work that we've done so far to commercialize games themselves. And so you see developers doing amazing things to imagine how the classroom experience might be different. Either a student interacting and giving a presentation or showing something, or a professor leading a lecture. There are a couple of examples there. Or you think about the medical field and someone being able to, you know, cruise through data without touching anything. In this case, obviously, it was a surgeon needing to sort of stay clean, so to speak. So the opportunities are really cool, and that video just kind of highlights some of the explorations that third-party developers are doing on the platform that we've provided.
I can't wait to see what some of the LeWeb participants can do with this. As you know, we have many developers here. So
you bet, you bet.
So that's on Windows, PC, and on
Xbox.
Xbox. Thank you.
Yeah.
Talk to me about Xbox, because you had a bit of news. You're on like a lot of news released in the last 2 days around Xbox. You
know, that's right. Xbox 360 has been a really amazing 10-year journey for us as a company, and we're really proud of the position we have with the device itself, and the entire ecosystem around it. So it's been great for us because it's created an amazing developer opportunity to build new types of entertainment that can really reach a huge number of consumers. We're up to roughly 57 million Xbox 360s sold, and the big holiday shopping window right around the U.S. Thanksgiving, we did about 960,000 Xbox 360s in just 4 days, which is just a staggering number.
And that was mostly gaming, and now you're moving into a much broader space, which is more like media and how do
entertainment.
Entertainment, thank you.
Yeah,
how do you
right.
see this evolving? Because you have Eric Schmidt yesterday who said, that Google TV will be in many TVs by 2012, and it has apps as well. So is that the main competition that you see, or? Well,
we compete with a lot of people in this space. Obviously, you've got the game console providers, and we've been really pleased to have the #1 share in many countries around the world as it relates to the console itself. Thinking about 57 million devices that are all connected to TVs is really
right now.
Right
now. It's not in the future.
True. It's right now. Yeah, it's an amazing asset. 35 million Xbox Live subscribers to date, essentially. And that means, of those 57 million consoles that have been purchased, 35 million more people have subscribed to a cloud service called Xbox Live that originally was a game changer for us versus the competition in how you and I would play games. You could be here in Paris, I could be back in Seattle, and we could play Gears of War together at the same time. But it's gone way beyond that, because now that Xbox Live service is really a way that people can get interesting content, whether it's live TV shows from the BBC or Sky or whoever provides live content directly to the Xbox, or movies. Netflix, obviously a huge, incredible asset for watching video. They have a massive number of people using Netflix on their Xbox as the way they consume Netflix content. So it moves away from just being about gaming, and it's a much broader story around entertainment. And having 57 million of those devices connected to PCs, it gives all the developers in the room an awesome opportunity.
And you get the Xbox outside of the Xbox as well, right?
Yeah.
I saw just today you released an iPhone app.
That's right. We had, with Windows Phone, when we shipped Windows Phone, we basically had an Xbox app built into the phone. We've just released a similar one for iOS, and that basically lets you get to your Xbox Live avatar.
You want to show a little bit this one?
Yeah, sure.
Can we get someone to film Chris's Windows Phone 7?
Yeah, this is a Nokia, the new Lumia.
Yes.
This is Windows Phone 7.5.
Just don't move it too much. We're coming.
Okay, great.
Yes.
Great. So this is Windows 7.5, and on it, of course, we have an Xbox Live app. Can you guys see that? Okay.
Yeah, you're on screen.
Great. And so this basically gives me access to all the content that's on Xbox Live. That means, in this case, you're seeing a bunch of games. But I also have access to my avatar. And so if I change my avatar...
this is you.
Yeah, this is my actual avatar. I'm a big Gears of War fan, so that's why there's a little Gears of War shirt, and that's a little Gears of War creature. These are all examples of digital content that people can either earn by playing games or can buy in the actual social network.
Yes.
Oh, am I shaking? I'm sorry.
No. It's just because you're very enthusiastic.
Yeah, I'm moving. Oh, sorry about that. And so it gives me access to all kinds of information in here, and any changes I make to my avatar here automatically show up, of course, the next time I turn on my Xbox and I'm working on a big screen. And so that's an example of an Xbox Live app that's available today. But you see in the spotlight right there, we also just made available the new Xbox Companion app for Windows phones. And what this is kind of a cool thing, because it essentially allows you to use your phone as a remote control for your Xbox. So if I were to start a movie on my Xbox and I launch this companion app on my phone, sitting there in front of the TV, I have a whole bunch of information on the phone itself about the movie that I'm watching. And I can use it as a remote control to fast forward or go back.
And since we have this phone here, so you've just released, Nokia.
Nokia, yeah.
has just released this phone, the Lumia.
Yes.
And it's beautiful.
It is. The blue color.
How is that doing in terms of sales?
The blue color is the one that everyone seems to be gravitating towards. And I think Nokia, if they were here, they'd say that they're very happy.
I think there is one to be won every day at LeWeb on your booth.
Oh, good. I like it.
I heard that.
That's good. You should go check it out.
Yeah.
But we're really pleased with it But the companion app is just a really nice example of the types of things that developers can do across multiple screens. So in this case, it happens to be a phone working with the TV, with Xbox as the glue, and Xbox Live as the key cloud service that brings it all together. And we're pretty excited about that.
We'll talk about the phone later.
OK.
But how is that coming together? Here's your phone.
Thank you.
I have one, so it's fine. I don't have to steal yours. How is that coming together? Because you have Windows 8 coming.
Yes.
So there is Xbox, there is Windows 8, Windows Phone 7. For a developer, that's a lot.
Yeah.
You know, well, tell me about Windows 8. How is that coming together? Same here. You just announced the app. Do I call it the App Store?
Yeah, the Windows Store. That's right.
The Windows Store.
Yeah. So we've had two major moments for Windows 8 so far from a disclosure perspective. One was back at the Professional Developers Conference that we call the Build Conference a few months back, where we really took a lot of the wraps off of Windows 8 for developers. And that was the day that people could download the Windows 8 developer preview, which you can still download. We've had 3 million plus downloads of that developer preview. And that means that everybody in this room can start to build Windows 8 applications using that developer preview. And that's really exciting. But yesterday, back in San Francisco, we had our second sort of major disclosure moment around Windows 8, where we took the wraps off of a lot of the details behind the Windows 8 store that's built into every Windows 8 machine. So if you have a Windows 8 Slate or a Windows 8 laptop or a Windows 8 desktop, there's an app store built into it.
So the only problem is that people don't have them yet. So if you're a developer here, an entrepreneur, and you have you heard them. They've been here on stage and, of course, everywhere at LeWeb.
Yep.
But session after session, don't take this in the wrong way,
Please.
but generally people start with an iPhone app, and then they do an Android app.
Yeah.
And then so then there is Windows 7, and glad to hear
Windows Phone.
Windows Phone 7. Sorry.
No, it's okay.
And Phil of Evernote has done that. It seems very successful. Yeah. And now we also have to do a Windows 8 app. So that's a lot of resources.
A lot of apps.
So why would developers start investing heavily on the tablet? Will it how confident are you is going to be major?
Well, certainly, we think about Windows 8 as an opportunity for us to really reimagine Windows itself. And that means reimagining the developer opportunity around Windows also. And so we don't necessarily think that you should have to think about all the different form factors. You want to be able to target a huge install base and a huge set of users with your applications. You want to go where the users are. And so for us, in building Windows 8 and reimagining the developer opportunity, we want you to build great apps for Windows 8 that then have a massive audience that you can reach.
So if I build an app for Windows 8, it's going to go to most PCs in the world.
Right. I mean, think about the data that we have made available to the world. We've shipped about 500 million copies of Windows 7.
Yeah, that's not
500 million.
But they won't have touch, though.
True, although obviously there's a bunch of touch devices in the world already. But think about that massive install base. All those Windows 7 machines are able to be running Windows 8. So the day we make Windows 8 available, you've essentially got 500 million Windows 7 machines that are capable for 8, and then your application gets to reach those.
Yeah, but if you design an app for a tablet, it's really not the same as an app for a computer with a keyboard.
Well, one of the nice things
it will run, but it won't be very interesting, right? Or if you do it really for touch, then the experience on the desktop won't be really good. So
one of the fun things we've done with Windows 8 is to make it touch first, but it still supports keyboards and mice. And being able to use a keyboard and a mouse and your hands and your fingers, we think is a really compelling thing. There are times when you're going to want to literally just not have any keyboard or mouse.
Right.
But
so you think this is gone?
No, I said there are times. There are times.
Oh, there are times.
And there are times when you want that keyboard or that mouse to interact with.
So you want best of both worlds. I have to admit that I don't type as fast on an iPad than I type on a keyboard.
Sure, but having the on-screen, the on-screen experience is great. Our key point is just if you look at the run rate of PCs, and even if you want to discount the 500 million that are Windows 8 capable, every year about 350 or about 400 million Windows PCs get sold into the market. So if you don't want to count any of the PCs that already exist that are capable of going to Windows 8, you still have this massive run rate of PCs that are going to be ready for your applications to be in the Windows Store. And one of the cool things we announced about the store was that we think the economics are far better for developers than our competitors. So we talked about the fact that with the Windows 8 store, you get to keep 80% of the revenue once you hit a $25,000.
8%? You get
80. 80%. Once you hit $25,000 of revenue on your app, for that first $25,000 of revenue,
you have your own. Sorry.
Typical 70%. But then once you hit 25 grand, you get to keep 80 cents on every dollar as opposed to 70 cents. So you make more money through the Windows 8 store than you do on our competitors.
And you have your own ad network, like iAd?
Yeah, one of the other nice things about the App Store is that we don't force you to use one particular ad network or one particular payment system. If you want to use Microsoft's, you absolutely can. But if you have your own, you want to use your own ad network or you want to use the third party's ads, you can do that through our Windows 8 store. If you want to use PayPal as a way to transact business, to do in-app transactions, you can do that through the Windows 8 store. If you want to sell subscriptions to a service, maybe you're selling subscriptions to a newspaper or a magazine that is your content, you can do that through our store. If you're Amazon and you want someone to be able to buy books through your Amazon app on Windows 8 and not have it go through our store, you can do that. So the flexibility we give developers through our store for monetizing, we think is a massive advantage, not to mention the fact that we'll have far more PCs and far more devices than we think anybody else will. So those are some of the reasons why developers, I think, should get excited about Windows 8. There's a huge opportunity.
So even if you come after on the tablets, especially, which is kind of a little later, you will catch up. You're very apparently confident that it will be big.
We're super excited.
I can see.
The feedback we've gotten on the product itself has been outstanding. Developers seem to really love what they see so far.
You have some results to share with us, or market share, or numbers?
I don't yet. Obviously, we're working hard to get back in the game in the phone space.
But developers are very excited about it. Yeah.
They are, and the reviews are, I think, incredibly important for us to have the actual hardcore press talk about these phones and the way they've been talking about them as a game changer and the best user experience and their favorite phone.
No, to your credit,
that's amazing.
It doesn't look like any other platform. It's a totally new, the Metro UI looks incredible.
Look, the Metro UI, having that same Metro UI on Windows phones, on Windows slates, on Windows laptops, on Windows desktops, and on Xbox. A lot of people haven't noticed that yet, but the new Xbox UI that we're just rolling out is a Metro-designed UI. So if you're a developer and you're thinking about targeting a user experience, we think having Metro be the same across the TV, the PC, the laptop, the tablet, and the phone, that's an amazing story for us, and we're excited about that.
Yeah, and it's very consistent.
Yes.
Tell me about social.
Social, yeah. I love the theme. I love the theme of the conference, social, local, and mobile.
So you've acquired a little company called Skype.
Yes.
And Niklas is here. Where is Niklas? He's coming this afternoon too. The founder of Skype, Niklas Zenström.
Great.
Tell me about that. I don't see any. It's not been Microsoft ties too much.
Right.
Like I use Skype all day long,
yes.
and it doesn't feel like you changed it, you touched it.
That's right.
Are you trying to preserve it exactly how it is?
Of course, Skype has roughly 170 million users on a very frequent basis, and it's a really amazing technology just from the perspective of how many consumers have embraced it as a way to stay connected to the people in their life. Obviously, we have a wonderful partnership with Facebook. So when we think about social, it's hard not to think about Facebook and having. You're getting attacked.
I'm getting attacked. Did you order a bug for me?
I don't know what that is.
You talked about social.
Yeah.
Okay.
We are very pleased with our partnership with Facebook and the ability to do Bing searches that show you what your friends like through the Facebook social graph. But Skype is a really fascinating social technology with a different lens of what social means. means. I think most people, when they think social, they think Facebook and Twitter, and that's certainly part of it. We think that there are lots of other interesting social networks as well, and we don't necessarily think there's just going to be one definition of one social experience. You look at Skype, it is very social. Your list of friends is quite small. The number of people you actually take the time to do a video chat with is probably in the 10s, 20s, 30s, as opposed to Facebook, where you might be in the thousands of friends. But it's no less interesting. It's still very valuable to you and me to be able to use Skype to connect when we're away.
And how about your integration with Facebook? This is interesting.
They only like you. I don't know what's going on.
There's something that is trying to catch me for a while.
Yeah.
Tell me about your that's interesting. Tell me about your integration with Facebook. Or basically, has Microsoft decided that apart from Skype, it wouldn't build a Facebook competitor? Or like Google has Google+, Facebook is Facebook. You have Twitter. Microsoft doesn't want to get into social more than Skype.
Well, again, I think when you say we don't want to get into social, I wouldn't say that. Skype is social. Xbox Live is another incredible social network. 35 million people that are voting every year with buying that subscription. That's a very social experience. Gaming with someone else, watching a movie with someone else, all the things we do through Xbox Live. Those are very, very valuable social things, even though they're distinct from going to Facebook.com, logging in, liking something, posting something on your wall. The other thing I think
I was about to say, the other thing which is incredible on the phone itself, I don't know if we can still show it, yes, maybe, is that you just add your Facebook account and suddenly you see a feed coming from your friends immediately, right?
Yes.
And that's pretty impressive. You just stick your Facebook account in there, and so...
One of the things that
we've really... is social, definitely.
That's right. One of the things that we've really tried to do is to not just think about all these applications as a silo. Oh, I want to go launch the Facebook app. I want to launch the Twitter app. I want to launch the LinkedIn app. I want to launch the Xbox Live app. We're really trying to design our products, particularly the experience on our devices, in this case a Nokia device running Windows, putting people really at the center. So when I click on somebody's picture, I don't want to think about, how I'm going to communicate with them. I just want to be able to communicate with them. I want to be able to see what's going on with them across what they've done on Facebook and what they've done on Xbox Live and what they've done, posting to LinkedIn or to Twitter, and putting the people at the center and then integrating all those social feeds into one experience. That's something that I think every developer in this room can think about, as opposed to just, how do I build the next Facebook, or how do I build another destination? There are lots of interesting destinations when it comes to social. Integrating them in and making that end-user experience of talking to someone or finding someone or hearing what's going on with someone, that's something we've really focused on. And the reviewers who look at the phone, it's something they really love about it.
The reviews are amazing.
So when you think about social, it's not just about, there's one, or it's not just about how many will there be.
Yep.
It's also about how do you bring it together in a way that's super compelling for humans who use the actual devices themselves. And that's part of our social approach.
Thank you so much, Chris.
It's my pleasure. Thanks so much for having me.
And you're here around, people can
Absolutely.
talk to you and see how best they can succeed with all your Microsoft platforms and the Metro integration and
you bet.
all the apps. Thank you
bet.
so much,
Thanks,
Chris,
everyone,
for coming by.
You bet. Thank you.
Chris.
Good job.